Railguns fired first, then teleporters struck. And the galaxy shattered. Part 3. The Shattered Alliance. 1 year into the war. The galaxy was changing. Major Beak Jiwoo led her squad through the dark tunnels of a prison world. The Dominion had kept this place secret for 10,000 years. It was where they sent the survivors of the culling. The ones they did not kill. The ones they needed for labor. Her squad found the first cell block and opened the doors. The prisoners inside were not human. They had blue skin and 3 arms. They were thin from hunger. Their eyes were empty from years of suffering. But when they saw Jiwoo and her soldiers, something changed in those eyes. "Who are you?" one of them asked. His voice was rough from not speaking. "We are humans," Jiwoo said. "We are here to free you." The blue-skinned alien stared at her. "Free us? No one fights the Dominion. No one wins." Jiwoo smiled. It was a tired smile, but it was real. "We do." She handed him a weapon. He looked at it like it was a holy object. His 3 hands wrapped around it. Tears ran down his face. "The Dominion killed my people," he said. 50,000 years ago. I am one of the last. I thought I would die here." "Not today," Jiwoo said. "Today you fight." They freed 3,000 prisoners from that world. 15 different species. All of them had been culled long ago. All of them had believed their people were gone forever. All of them wanted revenge. Far across the galaxy, the Dominion was breaking. The Overmind ruled 12 species. For 40,000 years they had worked together. They had shared power. They had shared in the culling. But now, for the first time, they were losing. 3 of the 12 species contacted Earth in secret. They wanted to defect. They had seen the reports from the front lines. They had calculated the odds. The humans were not just fighting. They were winning. "The humans will show us mercy," their ambassador said. "The Overmind will not." Admiral Kim received them personally. He did not trust them. He did not like them. But he needed them. "You helped destroy 1,000 civilizations," he said. "Why should we believe you want peace now?" The lead ambassador, a creature that looked like a giant insect, lowered its head. "Because we are afraid," it said honestly. "We have never been afraid before. Your species has taught us fear. We would rather live as your allies than die as the Overmind slaves." Kim considered this for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Fine, but understand this. If you betray us, we will not just defeat you. We will make sure no one remembers you ever existed." The ambassador believed him. Back on Earth, Lieutenant Yoon Hana sat alone in her laboratory. She had not slept in days. She could not sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the battles. She saw soldiers teleporting into enemy ships. She saw bombs appearing in reactor rooms. She saw death. Instant and silent and coming from nowhere, she had created the teleportation technology to bring species together, to let people travel the stars, to connect the galaxy in peace. Now it was a weapon. The most terrible weapon humanity had ever made. Captain Park Do-yeon found her there at 3 in the morning. "You should rest," he said. "I cannot." She did not look up from her console. "Do you know how many beings have died because of my invention? I calculated it yesterday. 400,000. And that is just the soldiers. The civilians are harder to count." Do-yeon sat down beside her. He did not say anything for a long time. "When I was young," he finally said, "my grandfather told me a story. He said that fire can cook food or burn down cities. A knife can cut bread or kill a man. The tool is not evil. It is what we do with it that matters." "Easy words," Hana said bitterly. "Easy to say when you are not the one who made the knife." "You are right," Do-yeon agreed. "It is easy for me to say. But I will tell you something else. If you had not invented teleportation, the Dominion would have destroyed us. Every human being, every child, every dream we ever had, gone, just like the blue-skinned aliens in those prison camps, just like 1,000 other species before us." Hana was quiet. "Your invention has killed thousands," Do-yeon continued, "but it has also saved billions. It has given hope to species that had none. It has broken an empire that ruled through fear. I know that does not make the killing easier. But it is still true. Hannah finally looked at him. Her eyes were red from crying. How do you keep going? She asked. How do you give orders that kill people? Do-yeon thought about the question. He thought about every soldier he had sent to die. Every enemy he had ordered destroyed. Every choice that had blood on it. Because someone has to, he said. Because if I stop, others will have to carry the weight. And because I still believe that when this is over, we can build something better. Something worth all the death. Hannah did not respond. But she did not look away. The Overmind was not idle during this time. It had studied the human technology. It had learned from its defeats. And now it had a solution. The Dominion scientists built jamming devices. They disrupted the teleportation field. Any ship trying to teleport through the jamming zone would be torn apart at the atomic level. The first human cruiser that tested it was destroyed instantly. 400 crew members died without even knowing what happened. The news spread quickly. The humans could no longer teleport freely. Their greatest weapon was neutralized, but the Dominion had forgotten something important about humanity. They adapted. Captain Do-yeon received the report about the jamming field. He studied it for 1 hour. Then he called his officers together. They have blocked teleportation in their formations, he said. So we will not teleport in. We will teleport their jammers out. The Iron Wake approached a Dominion defense station. The jammers were active. Teleportation was impossible, but the jamming field had a source. A machine. A physical object. The Iron Wake fired a special torpedo. It did not carry explosives. It carried a miniature teleporter. The torpedo hit the station's hull and activated. The jammer vanished, teleported directly into the heart of the nearest star. 1 second later, the Iron Wake teleported onto the station's bridge. The crew had no time to react. The Dominion learned something that day. Something that would haunt them for the rest of the war. Humans did not stop when you blocked them. They did not give up when you countered them. They just found another way. They always found another way. Railguns fired first, then teleporters struck, and the galaxy shattered. Part 2. Ghosts in the Void. 6 months had passed since the Battle of Kepler-442b. Admiral Kim Tae-sun stood before the United Earth Council and delivered the news that everyone already knew, but no one wanted to. Here, the Dominion is coming back, he said. 2,000 ships. Maybe more. They will be here in 3 weeks. The council chamber was silent. 2,000 ships. Earth had 400. The math was simple. The math was death. Our railguns are effective, the admiral continued. But we cannot win a long war. The Dominion has 10,000 worlds. We have 4. For every ship we destroy, they can build 10 more. For every soldier we kill, they have 1,000,000 waiting. One of the council members raised her hand. Then what do we do? Surrender? The admiral shook his head. No, we change the rules. He pressed a button on his console. The lights dimmed. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed a small metal disc covered in lights and wires. This is Project Blink. Lieutenant Yoon Hana has been working on it for 15 years. It is now ready. The hologram shifted. It showed a ship disappearing from one location and appearing in another, 50,000 kilometers away, in less than a second. Teleportation, the admiral said. Instant movement across space. No warning. No defense. No escape. The council members looked at each other. Some were confused. Some were scared. Some were beginning to understand. We are going to teleport our ships directly into the enemy fleet, Kim said. We will appear inside their formation, fire our railguns at point-blank range, and vanish before they can respond. We will teleport bombs into their engine rooms. We will teleport boarding parties onto their bridges. We will teleport their reactors into the sun. He paused. His old eyes were hard as stone. The Dominion has never lost because no one has ever fought them like this. They expect enemies to stand in a line and die. We will not stand. We will not line up. We will be ghosts. We will be everywhere and nowhere. And we will make them pay for every world they have ever destroyed. 3 weeks later, the Dominion Armada arrived at the edge of human space. The fleet commander was named Vorak. He was old even by Dominion standards. He had led 100 callings. He had never failed. He would not fail now. The primitives are forming a defensive line, one of his officers reported. 400 ships. They are outnumbered 5-1. Vorak made a sound that was almost like a laugh. Brave little creatures. Sound the advance. Destroy them all. The Dominion fleet moved forward. 2,000 warships, each one larger than anything humanity had ever built. Their shields glowed with power. Their weapons charged. This would be quick. On the bridge of the Iron Wake, Captain Park Do-Yun watched the enemy approach. His hands were steady. His heart was not. Is the blink drive ready? He asked. Lieutenant Yun Hana nodded. All ships are connected to the network. On your order, we can teleport the entire fleet. Do-Yun took a deep breath. This was it. This was everything. Execute. The human fleet vanished. For 3 seconds, the Dominion commander did not understand what had happened. One moment, the enemy was there. The next moment, empty space. Had they fled? Had the Iron Wake reappeared 500 meters from Vorak's flagship? Before anyone could react, it fired its railguns directly into the bridge. The flagship's shield meant nothing at this range. The bridge exploded. Vorak died without even seeing what killed him. All across the Dominion formation, human ships were appearing and disappearing like angry ghosts. They would flash into existence, fire everything they had, and vanish before the enemy could aim. Dominion gunners shot at empty space. Their targeting systems could not track something that was not there, but the railguns were not the worst part. Corporal Beak Jiwoo materialized on the bridge of a Dominion cruiser with 9 other soldiers. They wore heavy armor. They carried weapons designed to punch through alien flesh. The Dominion officers had just enough time to scream. Jiwoo shot the captain first. Then the navigator. Then the weapons officer. Her squad moved through the bridge like water through sand, killing everything that moved. In 40 seconds, the ship belonged to them. Bridge secured, she reported into her communicator. Moving to engineering. On 30 other Dominion ships, the same scene was playing out. Human soldiers appearing out of thin air, killing crews that had never faced infantry combat in their lives. The Dominion was a navy species. They fought with ships. They had forgotten how to fight with hands. Humanity had not forgotten. The battle lasted 4 hours. When it was over, 800 Dominion ships were destroyed. 300 more were captured. The rest fled, their crews screaming reports that made no sense. They appear from nowhere. They are inside our ships. They are teleporting our own reactors away. They are monsters. The transmissions cut off as the fleeing ships entered faster than light travel. Admiral, Kim received the battle report in silence. They had won. They had lost 60 ships and won against an enemy, 5 times their size, but he did not smile. The Dominion Overmind received the report as well. It processed the information. It analyzed the tactics. It felt something it had not felt in 100,000 years. Terror. The new creatures did not fight like prey. They fought like nightmares. The Overmind sent a message to all Dominion worlds. Just 4 words. The humans are coming. On the Iron Wake, Captain Do-Yun looked out at the battlefield. Wreckage floated in the void. Dominion ships burned with cold fire. His crew was celebrating. He found Lieutenant Hannah standing alone by a window. She was not celebrating. We won, he said. We killed thousands of beings today, she replied. My technology made it possible. I invented teleportation to explore the stars, Captain. Not to do this. Do-Yun stood beside her. He understood. He felt it too. We did not start this war, he said quietly. But we are going to finish it. Hannah closed her eyes. When she opened them again, they were hard. Yes, she said. We are. Railguns fired first, then teleporters struck. And the galaxy shattered part 1. The Iron Curtain falls. The ships came out of nowhere. Captain Park Do-yun stood on the bridge of the UES Iron Wake and watched the display screen fill with red dots. 50 alien warships had just appeared near Kepler 442b, humanity's farming colony. 20,000 people lived down there. Farmers, families, children. The aliens called themselves the Dominion. They had ruled the galaxy for 40,000 years. In all that time, no young species had ever survived meeting them. They called it the culling. Find them, crush them, enslave the survivors. It was simple. It was efficient. It had worked every single time. Until today. They are broadcasting, said Lieutenant Yoon Hannah from her station. She was the ship's science officer, a quiet woman with tired eyes. She had not slept in 3 days. None of them had. Put it through, Do-yun said. The screen flickered. An alien face appeared. It had gray skin, 4 eyes, and a mouthful of needle teeth. It spoke in a language that sounded like grinding metal, but the translator made it clear enough. Small creatures of the 3rd planet. You have been found. You have been judged. Your civilization ends now. Surrender your worlds. Surrender your people. Serve the Dominion or be erased from existence. You have 1 hour to respond. The transmission cut off. Do-yun looked around his bridge. His crew was scared. He could see it in their eyes. But underneath the fear, he saw something else. Anger, defiance. They had known this day would come. Earth had been preparing for 50 years. Get me Admiral Kim, Do-yun said. The old admiral's face appeared on screen moments later. Kim Taeson was 70 years old. He had white hair and deep lines on his face. He had spent his entire life getting ready for this moment. Captain Park, I assume you received their message. Yes, sir. They want us to surrender? The admiral smiled. It was not a nice smile. And what do you think we should do? Do-yun felt his own lips curl upward. I think we should show them what happens when you threaten Earth. Good answer. The admiral leaned forward. All ships have their orders. The Dominion thinks we are primitives with sticks and stones. They think their shields will protect them? They have no idea what a railgun can do. The Dominion had ruled for 40,000 years. Using energy weapons, lasers, plasma, their shields were designed to stop heat and light. Every species they had ever fought used the same technology. It was the natural path. The obvious choice, humanity had chosen differently. The railgun was simple. Take a chunk of tungsten. Use electromagnets to accelerate it to 5% of the speed of light. Fire it at the enemy. No heat, no light. Just a piece of metal moving so fast that shields meant nothing. Armor meant nothing. The laws of physics said that when something that heavy moved that fast, nothing could stop it. The Dominion had never faced kinetic weapons in space. They had forgotten that such things existed. They were about to remember. The hour passed. The Dominion fleet moved toward the colony. Their commander was bored. This was routine. They had done this 10,000 times. The small creatures would beg. They would cry. Some would fight with their primitive weapons. Then they would die. The Iron Wake led the human fleet forward. 200 ships against 50. The Dominion commander laughed when he saw them coming. The small creatures were brave. Stupid but brave. Open fire, Do-yun said. 200 ships fired at once. The railguns made no sound in space. There was no flash. No beam of light. Just small pieces of metal vanishing into the darkness at impossible speed. The Dominion shields flickered blue as they activated. They were designed to absorb energy. They did this very well. The tungsten slugs were not energy. The first Dominion ship exploded. Then the second. Then the third. In 90 seconds, 12 ships were gone. Not damaged. Not disabled. Gone. Torn apart from the inside as lumps of metal punched through shields like they were not there. Through armor like it was paper. Through reactors and crew and everything else. The Dominion commander stopped laughing. "What is happening?" He screamed at his officers. "Our shields are active. How are they hitting us?" No one had an answer. They had never seen anything like this. The weapons made no sense. Where was the heat? Where was the radiation? There was just death, silent and instant and impossible to stop. "Retreat!" the commander ordered. "All ships retreat!" For the first time in 40,000 years, a Dominion fleet ran from battle. The surviving ships tore open holes in space and vanished. Fleeing back to report what had happened, on the bridge of the Iron Wake, the crew was silent. They had won. Against all odds, against an enemy that had never lost, they had won, but Do-yun did not celebrate. He knew this was just the beginning. The Dominion would come back. They would come back with thousands of ships, millions of soldiers. They would not underestimate humanity again. He looked across the bridge at Lieutenant Yoon Hana. She met his eyes and nodded slowly. She was thinking the same thing he was. The Railguns had bought them time. But time for what? Hana turned back to her console. Somewhere deep in the ship's computer, her secret project waited. Project Blink, teleportation technology that could move matter across 50,000 kilometers in an instant. She had built it to explore the stars. Now she would use it to save her species. "This is not over," Do-yun said quietly. "This is not even close to over." Somewhere across the galaxy, the Dominion Overmind received the report of the battle. It was a collective consciousness, a mind made of billions of linked beings. It had existed for 100,000 years. It had never known defeat. Now it felt something new. Something cold and sharp that it did not recognize. It was the beginning of fear. Railguns fired first, then teleporters struck, and the galaxy shattered. Part 4, the long dark 3 years of war had changed everything. Major Beak Jiwoo stood before her troops. 10,000 Blink soldiers. The largest teleport infantry force in human history. They were the most feared warriors in the galaxy. Stories about them spread to every world. The Dominion called them ghosts. The freed species called them angels. Jiwoo called them tired. She had been teleported so many times that she had lost count. Every teleport meant being taken apart at the atomic level and put back together somewhere else. The scientists said she was the same person, the same atoms, the same mind. Some nights she was not sure. Her soldiers looked at her with trust. They believed in her. They would follow her into any battle. She had never failed them. She hoped today would not be the first time. The war was bleeding Earth dry. The Dominion had launched suicide attacks on human colonies. Bombs fell on cities. Plague ships spread disease. Half of humanity's population was gone. The survivors lived in underground bunkers, waiting for the all-clear signals that came less and less often, but the Dominion was dying too. Their alliance was shattered. 3 species had defected. 2 more had stopped sending ships. The freed prisoners had formed their own army and were liberating worlds across the galaxy. The Overmind knew it was losing. And so it made a decision. If it could not win, no one would. Deep in Dominion space, the Overmind activated a weapon that had not been used in 30,000 years. The Stellar Igniter. A device that could cause a star to explode. They would aim it at Earth's sun. They would destroy the entire solar system if humanity would not submit. Humanity would burn. Lieutenant Yoon Hana detected the weapon's energy signature from 3 sectors away. She ran to Admiral Kim's office and showed him the data. "They are moving it toward Seoul," she said. Her hands were shaking. 500 ships are escorting it. The biggest dreadnoughts they have left. It will be in range in 72 hours. Admiral Kim stared at the screen. He was old now. The war had aged him. His hair was white. His back was bent. But his mind was still sharp. "How do we stop it?" he asked. Hannah swallowed hard. "We cannot intercept it in time. Their fleet is too strong. But if we teleport our entire fleet directly into their formation... How many ships do we have? 150? They have 500. The old admiral was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked the question that both of them were afraid to answer. What would it cost to teleport 150 ships at once? Hannah told him. She told him about the power requirements. She told him that it would drain Earth's entire energy grid. Every power plant, every reactor, every battery. The entire planet would go dark, hospitals would lose power. Life support would fail. Millions of people could die in the blackout alone. But if we do not do it, she finished, billions will die when the sun explodes. Admiral Kim closed his eyes. He had sent young men and women to their deaths for 3 years. He had made impossible choices every day. But this was different. This was sacrificing his own people to save his own people. Do it, he said. His voice did not shake. Prepare the fleet. Tell Captain Park to lead the attack. He opened his eyes and looked at Hannah. We did not survive the culling to die in the dark. 70 hours later, the human fleet was ready. Captain Park Do-Yun stood on the bridge of the Iron Wake. His crew was silent. They all knew what was about to happen. They all knew many of them would not survive. This is Captain Park to all ships, he said into the communicator. In 2 hours, we will teleport directly into the Dominion fleet. We will be outnumbered 3-1. Many of us will die. He paused. His crew was watching him, waiting. But if we do not fight, everyone dies. Our families, our friends, our entire species. Everything we have ever built or loved or dreamed of will be gone forever. He looked out the window at the stars. So many of them. So many worlds. So many lives depending on what they did next. We did not start this war. The Dominion came to our world. They threatened our children. They called us primitives. They thought we would bow down and die quietly. His voice grew harder, colder. They were wrong. The power drain began. Across Earth, lights flickered and died. Cities went dark. Machines stopped. For one terrible moment, the entire planet held its breath. The fleet vanished. They reappeared in the middle of the Dominion formation. 150 ships against 500. Point-blank range. No escape for anyone. The Battle of Seoul began. Railguns fired in every direction. Ships exploded. Debris filled the space between stars. Human and Dominion vessels crashed into each other, their crews fighting hand-to-hand in the wreckage. Major Jiwa teleported her squad directly onto the stellar igniter platform. The weapon was massive. A tower of metal and energy, floating in space. Surrounded by the largest Dominion dreadnoughts, her squad fought through the platform. Dominion soldiers fell before them. But there were too many. One by one, her people died, shot, stabbed, crushed. When Jiwu reached the control room, she was alone. The weapon was armed. The countdown had started. 60 seconds until it fired at Earth's sun. She tried to disable it. The controls were locked. She tried to destroy it. Her weapons were not strong enough. 50 seconds. Jiwu looked at the core of the stellar igniter. She looked at her personal teleporter. It had just enough power for one more jump. She could teleport herself to safety. She could survive 40 seconds, or she could grab the core and teleport both of them into the space between spaces. Into the quantum void where nothing existed. Neither alive nor dead, forever. 30 seconds. Major. Big Jiwu thought about Earth. She thought about the children in the bunkers. She thought about the sun rising over the ocean. She thought about her mother's face. She smiled. 20 seconds. Tell them we were worth saving, she said into her communicator. She grabbed the core. She activated the TELEPORTER. 10 seconds, and she was gone. Railguns fired first, then teleporters struck, and the galaxy shattered. Part 5. Shattered and reborn. Major Beak Jiwu never reappeared. The teleporter had taken her and the stellar igniter core into a place that was not a place. Quantum space. The void between dimensions. Scientists would later explain that she existed in a state of permanent uncertainty. Neither here nor there. Neither alive nor dead, her last words echoed through the fleet's communication system. Every soldier heard them. Every captain. Every surviving member of the human race. Tell them we were worth saving. The Dominion fleet, without the stellar igniter, broke apart. They had put everything into this final attack. When the weapon failed, their will failed with it. The surviving ships scattered. Some surrendered. Some fled. Some simply stopped fighting and drifted, their crews too shocked to continue. The Battle of Seoul was over. Humanity had won, but no one celebrated. On Earth, the power slowly came back. Lights flickered on in cities that had gone dark. Machines hummed back to life. People emerged from their shelters and looked up at the sky, waiting to see if the sun would rise again. It did. Across the galaxy, the Dominion collapsed at the Overmind. That ancient collective consciousness could not process what had happened. It had ruled for 100,000 years. It had never known defeat. It had never known fear. And now, in the span of 3 years, a species that had not even left its homeworld when the war began had destroyed everything. The Overmind fractured. Its 12 component minds turned on each other. They blamed each other for the defeat. They fought over the scraps of their dying empire. Within weeks, the alliance that had crushed 10,000 civilizations was gone. Captain Park Do-yeon was promoted to admiral. He did not want the title. He did not feel like a victor. He felt tired. He felt old, but there was still work to do. Humanity led a coalition of freed species to liberate the remaining Dominion worlds. They did not conquer. They did not enslave. They asked only one thing from the beings they freed. Remember what happened here. On every world, they found the same thing. Broken peoples. Shattered cultures. Species that had forgotten their own names, their own histories, their own gods. The Dominion had not just killed bodies. They had killed souls, but souls could be reborn. Lieutenant Yoon Hana, now promoted to commander, built something special. She called it the Blink Memorial. Using the same teleportation technology that had won the war, she created a monument that existed in every location at once. A quantum structure that could be visited from any world in the galaxy. It was a simple design. A wall of light with names written on it. The names of everyone who had died in the war. Human and alien. Soldier and civilian. Friend and enemy. At the center of the memorial was a single space with no name. Just 5 words, she who exists everywhere. Major Beek Ji-woo had become something more than a soldier. She had become a symbol. The woman who gave up her existence to save a species. The ghost who haunted the space between spaces. Some people claimed to see her. A flicker of movement in the corner of their eye. A feeling of being watched. A whisper in the dark that sounded almost like words. The scientists said it was impossible. The physics did not allow it, but physics had not expected humans either. 10 years after the war, Admiral Park Do-yeon stood before the Galactic Council. It was a new organization, built from the ashes of the Dominion. 100 species had joined. More were applying every year. Earth had been offered leadership. They could have ruled the galaxy. No one would have challenged them. No one could have stopped them. They refused. Humanity does not want an empire, Do-yeon told the council. We have seen what empires do. We have seen the Dominion. We have seen what happens when one species believes it is better than all others. He looked around the room. So many different faces. So many different bodies. So many species that had almost been destroyed forever. We will not be the new Dominion. We will not rule you. We will stand beside you. We will help you rebuild. We will share our technology, our knowledge, our future. And we will ask nothing in return except this: never forget what happened. Never let it happen again. The council voted unanimously to accept. 20 years later, Admiral Park Do-yeon was old. His hair was white. His hands shook. He walked with a cane. But his mind was still clear, and his heart was still strong. He visited the Blink Memorial one last time. The wall of light surrounded him. Names floated past. Thousands of them, millions, all the dead, all the lost. All the sacrifices that had made this new galaxy possible. He stopped at the unnamed space in the center. Jiwoo, he said quietly. I do not know if you can hear me. I do not know if you are still out there somewhere, between the stars. But I wanted you to know. He took a deep breath. We won. Not just the war, we won the peace too. The species we freed are building new civilizations. The Dominion is gone. Children are growing up who have never known fear. A tear rolled down his cheek. You asked us to tell them we were worth saving. I think we proved it. Not because we were strong, not because we had better weapons, but because when we had the chance to become tyrants, we chose to be something else. The memorial pulsed. A single flicker of light? It could have been a malfunction. It could have been quantum noise, or it could have been something more. Do-Yun smiled. Across the galaxy, on 10,000 worlds, children learned the story of the small blue planet that had refused to die. They learned about the railguns that shattered the enemy's shields. They learned about the teleporters that broke the enemy's spirit. They learned about the soldier who sacrificed her existence to save a star, and they learned the most important lesson of all. The Dominion had ruled through fear for 40,000 years. They had crushed every species they met. They had believed that power was the only thing that mattered. They were wrong. Power could build empires. But only compassion could build civilizations. The humans understood this. They had fought the hardest war in galactic history. They had killed millions. They had lost millions more. They had done terrible things to survive, but when the killing stopped, they did not become what they had defeated. They did not take revenge. They did not conquer. They healed. They built. They forgave. The galaxy had shattered when the humans came, but it was rebuilt stronger than before. Not by force. By hope. And somewhere in the space between spaces, neither alive nor dead, neither here nor there, Major Big Jiwoo watched it all. She could not return. She could not speak. She could not touch the worlds she had saved, but she could see them. She could see the children playing without fear. She could see the cities rising from the ashes. She could see the stars shining on a galaxy that was finally free. She smiled. They had been worth saving after all.